Oh, great. I made the same mistake again, and I don't even know what happened. Also, how did I fix this? How did I fix this problem? I'm confused. Or did I... Oh. Alright, I closed OBS Studio. That's what I did. But I don't understand why I made the same mistake again. Like, what? That's stupid. And now, well, I already duel. I'm going to explain what was in the last video and and why exactly I decided to upload. Hold on, hold on, please. Oh my God, why? Why am I so cursed? I just want to play this game. Okay, all right. Everything should be good now. I I don't understand myself. I just don't. I just don't. I really just don't. What actually was in the last video besides I didn't have to prove it. Yeah, I said that Nasch could defeat me at level 800, embarrassingly so, and then he proceeded to do exactly that, which was not something that needed to be proved at all. How many times have I talked about things that didn't need to? I've talked about things that were a thing, okay? I mentioned this, that, whatever. But no one needed proof of that. And how many times did proof end up happening? Just unfolding within the same video I talked about it. Now, the last video is actually worse than the last video I messed up in. Now, I did do that in another video, yes. But this last video is actually much worse. And because you can barely hear anything, and that's taken up to 11. Like, you may think that another video I recorded was bad, but the last video was much worse. And now, if you want to know why I uploaded it, it's because of the duels. I wanted the dueling footage to be preserved as evidence that I can use that deck pretty well, actually. It's just a lot of RNG that's involved. And I talked about all sorts of things. You know, this is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Like, is there anything else that I may have said in the last video that I don't remember? Because I do know that I ran my mouth about how poorly I play this deck. Yeah, I really don't play this deck very well. But it's just, I've shown some competence with it now. And now showing that competence involved destroying the audio levels, and I did actually bring that up as well. I wasn't seeing any evidence that the volume levels were normal, and my model wasn't speaking the way that she should have been. And then I ended the video by saying that I'm going to check the sound quality. And the sound quality was terrible. It was very, very terrible. I don't think the video can be redeemed, but I'm not uploading it for the sound quality. I'm uploading it for the way that I dueled in those videos. I mean, in that video. And while that may not necessarily be clear to everyone that clicks on it, which is what, one person? I do think it's worth reminding people that some of my decisions are a bit weird. You may not understand them, but I don't understand them either. Some of my decisions are cursed, and I will make even more cursed decisions. especially when I change over to other games, because my questionable decisions exist there as well. And now, I'd like to think that I have a personality that surpasses whichever game I'm playing, and that is especially true when it comes to games where the content may be repetitive otherwise. I'd like to think that my personality adds extra value to that content, and it's not just me voicing a bunch of lines. That's why I ramble so much. While it may be overboard at times, and I do agree with that viewpoint, by the way, I do believe that it also adds something to the video that would not otherwise be there if a more competent content creator was covering it. Because if someone was competent, they would not need to pad the video. But they also wouldn't be adding extra value to the content the way that I am. And there are a lot of things about my content that I believe are really great, and because they are specifically it's part of my personality, it's part of what makes me unique. And again, I'd like to think that my personality allows for a lot of things to just I'd like to think that this game's death is not going to mean the end of my content. And I have, in fact, been planning to make content for other things. Another main reason I haven't done that is because I do realize that when I change games, I do have a different audience. And that is something to take into consideration. And the game that I mainly want to make videos for is Madoka Exeter. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we know that I mispronounce shit all the time, so it's not exactly off-brand. I'm not branding myself as someone that really wants to mispronounce a bunch of shit, but I cannot deny that I have, in fact, been doing that. So I don't exactly have a very good argument if I really don't want to mispronounce things. Am I making the effort to, pronounce things correctly? Well, I try, but I don't think it's noticeable enough for people to believe me. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to be really honest here. I don't actually know how I'm going to cover content for other games to some extent. Because with a different audience, there's a different way of how I would proceed. Why do I have to have weird shit happen at the worst times? Anyway, this is the consequences of me not doing my breath work. Uh, that is very important for someone that works with their voice a lot. I would not say that I've been using my voice a lot recently, but I deal with a lot of weird shit that not everyone would believe, and that is just something I'm going to have to live with. I mean, not everyone has to believe my shit. And if I want people to believe me, too bad. That doesn't mean they do. And now, I do think that it's important to mention that when I play Madoka Exeter, the dark jokes are not gone. In fact, they're relevant. They're very relevant. And because the content itself is dark. And that means that me being dark is fitting. Now, some people may not believe that because I don't need to add content that makes the all the I don't need to add content that makes the already existing content more depressing or more cursed. or more dark for that matter, but that is exactly what I plan to do. Because at the very least, my dark jokes might land in that franchise. Or not. I mean, my dark jokes aren't always funny. But there are many jokes that really aren't that funny, even in context, when it comes to that game. Now, Madoka Exidra is a game that is very special to me. And you may wonder why. Because some people say that it sucks and there are bad reviews for it. But that was early in the game's lifespan, and obviously, a game's lifespan is. It may have been early in the game's lifespan, but that does not mean anything. Because people have an opinion and they can still think the game sucks. There's nothing that I can do about that. That's just a thing. Wait a minute, can't that card attack directly? No, I don't. Wait a minute, dude, let me read. No, I don't think that card is able to, actually. I target this card. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm so cursed. That is the worst decision. And why did I do that again? What is wrong with me? Again, I don't think that anyone is actually able to help me with this. Okay. I use this card again, and I cannot use this card. Okay, good. Now I can continue with my battle phase. I do get confused every now and then, and that is my problem. I actually do not expect to win. I expect to lose. That's just what happens when you play as poorly as me. And now, fortunately, I think the volume is fine. It better be. If it's not fine, I will go nuts. Do you want me to go nuts? You know, I think some people might actually enjoy that. But I'm not sure who those people are, and right now I know that I have a terrible reach because it's not like I'm doing what I should be. And you may wonder, what should I be doing? I should be uploading more consistently, but I haven't been making content to actually upload consistently. Now, I have recorded videos, and I do plan to eventually cover Manya's event, but that is not something that I will do right now because I don't give two shits. Now, you may be wondering what my problem with Manya is, because I keep bringing her up. Or maybe you're wondering who I'm talking about because Manya's dub voice is very, very cursed. But I'll be real with all of you. It really isn't necessarily her in particular. It's just it's just the attitude of having to give certain things up when you're an adult. Like the attitude of having to give things up is because you're an adult now is just I never liked that mentality. And now that does not mean that certain things are appropriate to still be hobbies as adults. Because there are real things that if you like them as an adult, I'm very concerned. But as far as I'm aware, I have not encountered very many things that I would say are actually just for kids. And I think it's very, very disrespectful to imply that anyone's hobby is less of a hobby just because they're older now. I never liked that mentality, but it is unfortunately common when it comes to adulthood. that certain things had to be given up because it's not appropriate as an adult or whatever. I never liked that mentality, and I think it's cursed. But anyway, apart from that, there is something else I would like to mention. It's it's not something Manya actually apologized for. I do know that she tends to be an actor. And the fact she's an actor is part of why she was acting that way in the duel. But it's not necessarily something she was actually sorry for either. And when I think about it, I'm not actually sure that she would be sorry about it. Especially since she's a child and she probably didn't understand the harmful implications of what she was doing. And now maybe I'm full of shit, and she did, and I should stop being obnoxious. But I have my opinions, and I don't intend to drop them. There are some things that I should be consistent about, and many of my opinions are in fact unable to be changed. This, of course, being one of them. And now let me just say this. I do plan to cover these events again at a better time, and that is because I believe I can do it better. I can do it better when I'm a much better content creator. That is why I'm hoping to cover the entire Scene album again at some point. Because many of these events can be covered better once I'm older, more experienced, I know what I'm doing, and in theory, I might have a bigger reach at that point. But I have to learn a lot of things before I am actually satisfied with my performance. I just want to play this game and have as much fun with it as I can before it dies. And when it does, it won't be the end of my channel. I've already started thinking about what I want to do with this channel when this game is no longer around. That's why I plan to play other games as well as a number of other things. This channel was never meant to be just me playing duelings and that's it. It was always supposed to be about experimenting with different forms of content creation. And that may include generative AI, like making music, for example. And that... And it also includes playing other games. It includes a lot of things. This channel is not just a dueling channel. Although right now you might be like, it kind of seems like it is though. Yeah, right now it does because, well, that's basically what I'm doing with it. But again, the point of my channel is supposed to involve all kinds of content. It's not supposed to be just games and that's it. The point of my channel has always been to experiment. And while I haven't shown much of that recently, or, at all, considering what happened in the last video, I mean, considering what happened within the past year, I believe that I am starting to move past some of those initial hesitations. Because I am well aware of the controversial nature behind generative AI and the types of music that I would likely create. And people would probably take issue with the fact that, well, I'm not the one singing. And I do understand the problems with generative AI. I do have my concerns as a result of the fact that it does real damage to the environment, and a number of other things. But I think I can use these as tools. And I am not replacing anyone in the content creation process. But when I have a vision, and I know how I want things to be created, and no one else is able to see what's in my head. And I cannot tell you how disrespectful it would be for an artist to learn that I'm not fully satisfied with this or that direction or this or the way this was drawn or that outfit, that color, whatever. I'm basically saying that I'm someone that I think wouldn't make a very good customer. I could I could pay you, but I think it would drive you insane after a point. Because even if you are supportive, I still believe that it would be to the point where eventually you would just not want to bother with me anymore. Now you may be wondering why exactly I have this mindset, and because why do I think that I would drive an artist insane? Well, first off, I drive myself insane, and that is one of the reasons I am saying it, because I drive myself insane. So why would I think that an artist would be in any better position? Why do I think an artist would be in a better position just because I commission them? And this applies to any form of content creation, by the way. Not just, art or music. It applies to all forms of content creation in general. It's just, I'm not necessarily the easiest person to work with, which is why generative AI can be very good when it comes to someone like me. And the other thing about it is, I know what I want, but I'm also over ambitious. And as one person, I think that these tools have potential. They have potential as tools. But you see, their potential as tools is not a replacement for me in the creation process. It is assistance as tools because I know what I want, but I still have to make an effort if I want that to actually be what I have to have some control over the results, is what I'm saying. If I don't put in the effort, the product I get is not going to be good. It will be terrible. And trust me, I've seen it. It's I've seen some very horrible atrocities just because I wasn't in control of the creative direction. Now, I do realize that even though I'm over ambitious, there are other issues with generative AI besides the environmental impact and the creative implications. Whether or not you believe I would actually be creative with these tools, rather than using them to replace other people, and a number of other things. But I do know many of my ideas. I know many of them, and they are often not realistic for one person to accomplish. And given what I've mentioned, I believe it would be more disrespectful for me to commission an artist. And for any other aspect of my work, honestly, because I am a perfectionist. This means that sometimes I see errors with my work, and I don't want this to be a problem with someone else's work. Now, when it comes to making content with this technology, I have been hesitant, mainly when it comes to music, because I don't like the controversy behind this technology. All the many issues, I've got my concerns, but I also know that I am not the right person to discuss them or to try to address them so this technology is actually safe in the future. I am not the right person for that. So I believe that I should just focus on having as much fun as I can. And I think that this technology is promising if I ever want to get off Social Security. which I've always had that plan in mind, that eventually I will be able to get off it. And now I don't know if that is actually true, but I do know that it's under threat. It may not be around forever, and if that is indeed true, and I'm kicked off for whatever reason, it's very important to consider that I may have no choice but to resort to certain things that I may not initially want to. Like, for example, I'm not exactly planning to make a profit off the music I make. Because, for one thing, I'm not even sure it's going to be that good, and I'm not sure anyone's going to care about anything that I create in that department. Because this technology is controversial. And I understand why, and I'm not ignoring that. It's just, again, I don't think I'm the right person to actually address these issues and try to fix them or anything like that. It's just that I'm not in opposition to this technology because I like it. And I'm hoping that with regulations and advancements of this technology in the future, it could be made more safe to use and less environmentally destructive. But yes, I have been planning to create things on this channel that are not games. But when it comes to making music on this channel, I've also wondered, haven't I made enough videos that kind of lock me into a specialty at this point? And yes, I sort of have, but I'm also not thinking that I should just make a separate channel for that. Because as much as it might be preferable, I also keep making a ton of references to my own content on this channel, so in the future, when I'm less lazy, I do have plans to start uploading music that I've created using AI, but with me typing the lyrics. No, I don't think there's any ethical way that I can actually do that at the moment, because this technology is, again, not great for the environment. And it's not ethical, but I I don't know if there's any ethical way for me to get off Social Security. I just don't. And for one thing, the economy is shit. And I just want to survive. I just want to have fun. I just want to create without it being a problem. And I hope if I ever do post music on this channel, I hope the music I upload is entertaining. And I hope that people like it. But for now, I'm still practicing, and again, I don't intend to make money with this music, because I don't even know if I'm that great. I'm probably not. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this video. I'm going to start wrapping things up for this event as well, because it's almost over.